Welcome to the city of Sevilla, Spain.
Sevilla is the fourth largest city in Spain.
It has a population of approximately 850,000 people.
Plaza de España here in Sevilla. This plaza was constructed in 1914, and there are little sections that honor each place here in Spain. So that's why it's called Plaza de España, because they have monuments or little remembrance to every section, to every state of Spain.
We're here in Sevilla in April, but if you come during the summer, apparently it's very, very hot, which encourages many of the midday siestas they take. During the middle of the day, they just all stay indoors. They take naps to avoid the extreme heat here. I'm pretty sure this is the Lannister symbol here in Sevilla.
You are a Lannister.
Sevilla, there's a river called Guadalquivir, and that river is pretty big. In fact, the word Guadalquivir comes from Arabic that means big river. Sevilla was the port, so all the ships that went to the Americas left from here and would return to Sevilla. So that's why it's very significant, because it was the main port back in the 15th, 16th, 17th century. Behind me is the Archivo de Indias. This is the place where they would document all the journeys from Sevilla, from Europe to the Americas. They're in there. Because of that, they had the highest imports, and they would tax everything coming in, and they used that money to build that beautiful cathedral that is the biggest in Spain.
3rd largest cathedral in the world. The first one is the Vatican, second is St. Paul's Cathedral in England, and this is the 3rd one, the cathedral here in Sevilla. Behind me here is the actual tomb of Christopher Columbus. They did DNA studies, and they actually got the DNA of his brother and also of his son. And out of the various locations they thought he might be buried, after the DNA study, they confirmed that he actually is buried here right behind me. Normally, only members of the church can be buried in a church and above ground, but because Christopher Columbus was so important in history, they allowed him to be buried here. Towards the end of his life, Christopher Columbus actually was brought in chains and arrested for mismanagement of people and mismanagement of the territories, also misappropriation of funds. 1,000 kilos of gold and silver were used to create this. Here was buried the son of Christopher Columbus. We're here in Santa Cruz, the Jewish quarter of Sevilla. Many of the houses here had indoor gardens, and they look absolutely beautiful. Let's take a look.
to climb the steps of one of the tallest towers here in Sevilla, La Giralda. It used to be the tallest tower until recently. La Giralda is attached to the main cathedral here in Sevilla, and this used to be part of the mosque back in the 12th century. It was destroyed by an earthquake eventually, and this is what survived from that earthquake. This tower is very different from the rest of the cathedral because this is Mudéjar style, and that comes from the Arabic architecture because the Arabs were in Spain for so long. So I have parrillada de vegetales, so these are like grilled vegetables and they look amazing. I'm so excited to try it. And on this side, oh, patatas bravas. These are very typical in Spain. And I also have berenjenas, which is eggplant, and I'm really excited. Oh, you have to look behind you, behind you, behind you. We just got some guests from the Middle Ages walking through the modern streets of Sevilla. So those guys are part of a procession because actually today is Good Friday. So Spain celebrates Easter with huge processions and festivities. So it won't be weird or rare to see those guys with the head covered walking around the streets of Sevilla right now. I want to eat.
My wife is tempting me with these patatas bravas. So we've been all over Spain, but I've tried the patatas bravas and they've been okay. But here in Sevilla, at this restaurant called Mateo's near the church, they are amazing.
That's so cute. So cute. Are you a Game of Thrones fans? Well, this is Dorn. Behind us is the actual Alcázar, which is a palace where Game of Thrones was filmed for the region or the Kingdom of Dorn. Unfortunately, the Alcázar is closed today because it's Good Friday, but at least we get to see the entrance to Dorn.
My girls in the water gardens, laughing in the sun.
The water gardens of Dorn. The Alcázar may be closed, but we have a drone.
I wanted to buy some Game of Thrones souvenirs. Unfortunately and surprisingly, I didn't see not even one. However, when we went to Dragonstone up in north of Spain, there were tons of shops and a lot of souvenirs based on Game of Thrones, but not a single one here in Dorn. Too bad.